The doormat lies straight as a ruler. Mom must have ironed it. The air inside their house hums, not with noise, there isn't any, but with the static that lifts hairs along my arms. Her smile is a tight band as she slips my coat from my shoulders. "Sierra, honey, so glad you made it." Dad's handshake clamps around my fingers half a second too long. Autumn hovers behind them, practically vibrating, eyes flicking to Dad, to the dining room, back to me. A tale I learned when she was 8 and smuggling contraband cupcakes to her bedroom. "Come in, dinner's ready." Mom's palm presses my spine, steering me down the hall. The table gleams like a magazine spread. Best china, crystal that appears only for engagements, graduations, occasions where I was always told not to touch. A low bowl of lilies leaks a clean, expensive scent that sits on my tongue like soap. I take my usual seat. Autumn slides into hers opposite me, smile too bright, shoulders squared like a stage entrance. Dad carves the roast with surgeon's precision. Mom floats bowls, mashed potatoes, green beans slicked with oil, Parker House rolls the color of honey. I see it then. A manila folder tucked near Dad's plate, corner peeking from under his napkin like a knife handle. "How's the clinic?" Mom asks, trilling, casual, an actor missing her mark. "Good," I say, eyes on the folder. "We increased patient load by 20% this quarter." Autumn's quick snort. "All those patients, such a tiny waiting room. Someone should upgrade your office management." The roast lands on my plate. Dad sets the knife down with a chime against the platter. He folds his hands. "Sierra, we've been thinking about the future of your clinic." I place my fork carefully against the porcelain rim. "Have you?" "Family businesses need family management," Mom says, quick, smooth, as if pumped with breath just off stage. "It's not a family business," I answer. With our support," Dad cuts in, glancing at the folder, "you built something terrific. And now Autumn has an excellent proposal that will benefit everyone." Autumn straightens, performs brightness. "I've worked up a business plan for me to become your practice manager. I'll handle all the boring paperwork while you focus on patients." She leans in, eyes hard behind the sparkle. "I'm asking for a 25% profit share. Totally reasonable, considering all the growth I'll bring." A roll of heat climbs my throat, a slow, raging tide. The stillness of long nights returns. Loan statements, ramen dinners, the sound of the clinic's printer chewing through claims while I lock the front door alone. I set my napkin on my lap like I'm pinning a specimen. "I already have a clinic manager," I say. Mom waves that away. "But Autumn is the people person. Remember how she charmed Dr. Wilson at your opening? He barely noticed you were there." I remember. Dad angling Autumn into my frame, crowning her with my mortarboard while my honors cords pressed grooves into my skin. I remember discount codes flung like confetti to her sorority sisters the summer she helped at reception. I remember the apology calls that followed like tourniquets after a preventable bleed. "May I see what you've prepared?" I ask, and it's astonishing how even my voice is. Dad slides the folder across the linen. The paper whispers. Inside a crisp stack with a firm header letter I recognize from his attorney's office. Agreement, proposal, roll, compensation. The signatures line clipped for my name. "It's ready to sign," Dad says. "We can notarize it tomorrow." "I can start tomorrow," Autumn chirps, producing a pen from a gold case like a magician with a coin. "I already have ideas for redecorating. The waiting room needs a feature wall." I take a sip of water, put the glass down on the coaster, center it to the ring. Then I reach for my briefcase beside the chair. The twin clicks of the combination lock are too loud in the delicate room. Everyone's eyes jerk to it. Dad's jaw flexes. Mom's napkin gathers in her fist. "There's something you should see," I say. From the leather portfolio, I pull a set of documents on heavy stock. The logo gleams in blue foil at the top. 3 weeks ago, I signed a management services agreement with Colorado Healthcare Partners. Dad reaches, and I pull the papers back just enough for him to reach farther. He doesn't like reaching. They're handling all administrative aspects of healing hands going forward: billing, claims, payroll, compliance, vendor contracts. You can't make decisions like this without consulting family, Dad says, and his tone is the one that ended arguments at our table for 28 years. Actually, I say, sliding the top page toward him and tapping the highlighted clause, Section 4.3. No family members may be employed in management positions without unanimous board approval. The board is myself and 2 CHP partners. Mom blinks, the lilies reek. Autumn, who had not expected a counter document, stares like I've pulled a rabbit from a surgical incision. You did this on purpose, she says. I made a business decision, I answer, meeting her eyes until she looks away. Based on experience.
She recovers fast, chin up. Experience like what? That time you thought it was okay to... I open the second folder and tilt it so she can see the tab dividers. Complaint forms, scheduling, billing codes, errors, discounts, unauthorized, each sheet dated, each incident logged. The stack has weight that says more than my voice ever did. These are from last summer when you worked at my clinic. 15 double-booked treatment rooms, 23 unauthorized discounts, 8 to your sorority sisters, 31 billing code errors that nearly triggered an insurance audit. Mom's hand darts across the table, stops short of mine. Sierra, honey, everyone makes mistakes when they're learning. These weren't learning mistakes. I set the log down. The linen accepts the weight without wrinkling. These were careless and expensive. Dad's jaw bunches. We're not here to rehash small mishaps. We're here to talk about the big picture. I am talking about the big picture. I open another document, the neat columns marching like an army. This is the total of free treatment I've provided to this family in 3 years. Dad's rotator cuff, Mom's plantar fasciitis, Autumn's sports massages before her beach trips. I look up. 42,000. Itemized. The room goes very quiet. The clock on the sideboard ticks, a clean metronome to the thudding pulse in my throat. You kept track? Autumn says, as if record-keeping is a moral failure. I keep track of everything in my clinic because no one else did for me. Dad exhales through his nose, adjusts his tie as if it's suddenly tight. We can negotiate, 20% instead of 25%. A trial period. Autumn learns from the CHP team. No, I gather the pages, precise as sutures. My clinic is not a piggy bank. It's my career. Mom's hand flies to her throat, the gesture she's perfected for church and charity luncheons. I never thought you'd put business before family. I'm not putting business before family. I'm putting boundaries before exploitation. The word lands like a dropped plate. Autumn pushes back her chair, the legs scrape. The sound, for once, makes Dad flinch. You're so dramatic. You act like you did everything by yourself while we supported you. Supported me when? I ask. When Dad took pictures of you in my cap and gown? When you handed out discounts and called my patients old people with Medicare? Enough, Dad snaps, palms flat on the table, voice rising the way it used to when I was 17 and 5 minutes past curfew. We will not be spoken to. My phone buzzes against the wood, a short insect shiver. Ellie, did you tell them yet? I don't smile, but something inside me lines up, clicks into place. I stand. For the first time, I am the one looking down at all of them. I'm done debating. CHP is in place. My board approved it. There will be no family management, no profit sharing, no redecorating. Autumn's laugh is a small, disbelieving crack. You can't do this to us. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm taking my clinic out of your hands. Dad rises too, tall and looming. His old trick. It doesn't work tonight. He points at the CHP logo like it's a crime scene photo. You think these strangers care about you? You think they'll protect you when something goes wrong? They already have. And I watch him process that past tense. They protect the work. So do I. Mom's voice thins. Sierra, please, we're trying to help secure your future. No, I tell her, and the truth tastes clean. You're trying to secure your access. I lift my briefcase, the leather warm against my palm. The plate in front of me is still full. The lilies stink. The fold in Dad's napkin cuts a knife shape across the tablecloth. Autumn's cheeks flame, her eyes glitter mean. Where are you going? Dad demands. Home. And starting next month, any family appointments are billed at standard rates. Our charity program is for people who can't afford care, not for people who don't want to pay. Mom gasps. Autumn makes a small, wounded sound. Dad mutters something acid under his breath, an expletive he used to fine us for thinking. I'm halfway to the foyer when his voice hardens into a familiar order. Sierra, sit back down. We're not finished. I turn. The hallway funneled the dining room into a stage. 3 faces framed by china and crystal, and a centerpiece that reeks of a life I keep leaving and being pulled back to. I look past them to the folder, to the pen gleaming like a lure. We are, I say. The front door opens on evening air that smells like rain and cold earth. My phone buzzes again. Ellie, we're all here for you. I step onto the porch, into the charged pre-storm quiet, and for the first time in 28 years, I let the door click shut behind me without checking whether they approve. The night air trails me home, clinging like smoke even after I shut the apartment door behind me. The silence is thick, heavy, yet not hostile. My briefcase sits on the kitchen counter where I dropped it, leather edges gleaming under the cheap overhead light. I pour a glass of water, my hands trembling so hard half of it spills across the laminate. For a moment, I just stand there, watching the spill spread, unable to move. The confrontation replays in flashes, Dad's voice like a gavel, Mom's fluttering hands, her dramatics sharpened into weapons, Autumn's triumphant smile curdling when the CHP contract hit the table. Their expressions as I itemized their debts, shock, denial, fury, burned into me like a brand. My phone vibrates again. Ellie, we're proud of you. I type back, thank you. Couldn't have done it without the team. Only when I crawl into bed do I realize my body aches as if I've been running for miles. I sleep like someone dragged underwater, heavy and dreamless, until the alarm drags me up at dawn. The clinic hums with Monday routine. Patients trickle through reception, clipboards filled, insurance cards scanned. Mark waves from behind the desk, cheerful as always. Morning, boss. His steadiness calms me. The world hasn't shifted for them, though it has for me. In the therapy rooms, weights clink, resistance bands snap back, treadmills hum. Real healing, real work. Not family theater with crystal glasses and manila folders. In my office, I spread the patient complaint forms across my desk again. The numbers glare like scars. 15 double bookings, 23 unauthorized discounts, 31 billing errors. Each sheet is an indictment, a reminder of how close Autumn dragged us toward collapse. Ellie knocks softly before stepping in, 2 coffees in hand. Thought you could use extra. I gestured to the pile of complaints. Sometimes I think I'm too harsh, but then I look at this. She leans over, scanning the forms. Harsh? Sierra, this is negligence. If it were any other employee, you'd have fired them on the spot. Family doesn't get a free pass. I stare at her, something loosening inside me. She's right. For years, I bent rules until they snapped, excusing everything because it was family. The result? Chaos. Lost revenue, sleepless nights. Besides, Eliads, setting the coffee in front of me, you've carried them long enough. That evening, memories creep in while I'm cooking a simple dinner. Pasta, jarred sauce, nothing fancy. My 12th birthday, a Tuesday. A single card propped against my cereal bowl before school. 2 weeks later, Autumn turned 10 and got a teal bike with glittering streamers. Dad shouted instructions as she wobbled down the driveway, Mom crying like she was sending her off to college. I'd circled bikes and catalogs for years, but when I asked about mine, Mom said, "You were always the practical one, books instead." Graduation, valedictorian speech, honors medal. They slipped into the auditorium late, missed the speech, and congratulated me with distracted hugs. Traffic was terrible, but we'll see you at Autumn's recital tonight, right? Physical therapy school. I worked cafeteria double shifts, loan statements stacking like bricks on my chest. Autumn needed rent money, again. I wired it without hesitation, though it meant ramen and secondhand furniture for me. She called it a gift. I called it survival, for her, not me. The memories come faster, sharper, each one slicing through me like glass. Their pattern was always the same. Her spotlight, my shadow. Their applause, my silence. I close my eyes, breathing deep. The boiling pasta hisses when it foams over.
Weeks pass. The family doesn't call. Not at first. Silence. Their favorite punishment. But silence doesn't scare me anymore. Instead, the clinic grows louder. More referrals, more patients, more victories. One Friday, Blue Shield finally approves our backlog of claims thanks to the protocols I wrote myself. When Ellie tells me, she claps me on the back. Most clinics would have folded. You rewrote their rules. We celebrate with grocery store cupcakes in the staff room, laughter echoing louder than any applause I've ever craved at home. For the first time, I feel seen, not as a daughter, not as a sister, but as a leader. The silence cracks at last. Mom's number lights up my phone late one evening. I let it ring. A voicemail follows, her voice syrupy, quivering. "We just want to talk, Sierra. Family shouldn't fight like this. Let's have dinner and fix it." Fix it. As if it were a leaky faucet, as if decades of dismissal and exploitation were plumbing issues. The next day, Dad calls my accountant directly, demanding access to my financials. Denise emails me immediately, furious. I forward the message to CHP, who flag it as harassment and warn him off. Then Autumn shows up at the clinic, striding past the waiting room with a folder of marketing ideas. Mark intercepts her, following protocol, offers her a seat, calls me, doesn't disturb my session with a stroke patient learning to walk again. I let Autumn wait 40 minutes before Mark politely escorts her out. Her text arrives that night. "You've changed. You're cruel." I don't respond. But still, guilt gnaws. Late at night, I hear Mom's voice, "Family businesses need family management, dear." Dad's, "We've always supported you." Autumn's, "What about me?" I stare at my ceiling, heart pounding, wondering if I've become cold, selfish, unrecognizable. Then the memories arrive, sharp and undeniable. My diploma in my hands while they posed Autumn in my cap and gown. My opening day, dismissed as playing at business. The $42,000 in treatments, the unpaid $16,000 in loans, my clinic nearly sinking under Autumn's help. Not cold, not selfish, boundaried. At dawn, I draft an email. To my family, after careful thought, I am establishing boundaries regarding Healing Hands therapy. No family involvement in management. All services billed at standard rates. Business decisions remain within my management team. I remain open to rebuilding personal relationships, separately from business. I don't send it. Not yet. But it sits there, waiting, like a loaded gun on the table. One afternoon, I find myself staring at my original business license framed above my desk. The embossed seal glints under the light. My eyes sting. I remember the night I first hung it, standing alone in that cramped, rented room, listening to the faint hum of fluorescent lights. No applause, no champagne, just me and the quiet belief that maybe, just maybe, I could make this work. And I did. The silence that night is no longer heavy, it's strong. It's mine.
The clinic has never been louder. Phones ring, printers spit, patients chatter in the waiting room. But inside my office, I can hear the faint hum of pressure building, like a storm front edging closer. It starts small. Mom's Facebook post, a photo from my clinic's opening day 3 years ago, me in a white coat, her arm locked around my shoulder. Caption: so proud of our family business. Healing hands, built on love and tradition. Family business. 2 words sharp enough to slice my throat open. Ellie sees it first, sliding her phone across my desk. It's spreading. Bridge club, church group, even some of our patients are commenting, "Congratulations to your parents." My chest goes cold. They're rewriting history in real time, building a story where my work, my debt, my years alone don't exist, where the clinic is theirs by right of bloodline. The next day, Dr. Reynolds, one of our strongest referral sources, emails me directly. "I was surprised to hear your father approached me about partnership opportunities. Please clarify." I sit at my desk, staring at the screen until the words blur. Dad went to him. He tried to sell my clinic like a piece of real estate. By Wednesday, the calls begin. Mom, again and again. Dad leaving curt voicemails. Autumn with her late-night texts. "Can we talk, just us?" Each time, I silence the phone. Each time, the guilt claws at me. Friday morning, staff meeting. 10 of us, crammed into the conference room, coffee cups steaming, bagels disappearing fast. Carlos leans back in his chair, grinning. 2 new physician referrals this week. Guess word's spreading. I should smile. Instead, my mind replays Dad's voice. Family stands together, especially in business. I clear my throat. One quick note. You may see posts online about this being a family business. That's not accurate. Healing Hands is independent, built by us, protected by us. The room goes quiet. Then Ellie taps her mug against the table. Damn right. The others follow suit. Mugs clinking, voices agreeing. Us. Protected by us. I swallow hard. For once, their belief feels louder than my family's denial. That evening, I finally open Mom's handwritten note. Perfect cursive, smudged with what I suspect are carefully staged tears. "We miss you. We don't understand why you're shutting us out. Come to dinner and let's heal this wound as a family." As a family. Always on their terms. Their house, their table, their script. I slip the letter into my desk drawer, next to screenshots of Facebook posts, copies of complaint logs, the $42,000 itemization, my private archive, evidence, proof that I'm not imagining things. 2 weeks later, Autumn makes her boldest move yet. She shows up during our busiest afternoon, striding into the waiting room in a cream blazer, tablet in hand. "Hi!" She beams at the receptionist. "I'm Sierra's sister, here to present some incredible marketing ideas." Mark follows protocol flawlessly, offers her a seat, calls me, doesn't interrupt my session with a post-op knee patient struggling to bend past 90 degrees. When I finally step into the waiting room, Autumn is still there, scrolling her tablet like a CEO waiting for subordinates. A few patients glance curiously, whispering. "Autumn," I say. "You can leave." She looks up, stunned. "I'm here to help." "You can leave," I repeat, voice low but steady. Her cheeks flame as Mark escorts her out. She doesn't resist, but her eyes burn holes in me the entire way to the door. That night, her text arrives. "You've become cruel, cold. You're not the sister I grew up with." I stare at the words, thumb hovering. Then I close the phone. Some messages don't deserve replies. But their campaign intensifies. Dad calls my accountant again, charming at first, then menacing. Denise holds her ground. Any further contact will be considered harassment, she emails him, CCing me and CHP's legal team. Mom ramps up her posts, each one painting me as the prodigal daughter who's abandoned her family. Success changes people, but family endures. Likes pile up, sympathy comments bloom. It's working. Community members start asking pointed questions. A neighbor stops me at the grocery store. Your parents must be so proud to be in business with you. I smile tightly, nod, move on. But inside, something cracks. If they control the story, then my work, my truth, vanishes. That night, I open my laptop. The draft email waits, cursor blinking. My hand trembles as I hover over send. Finally, I hit it. To my family. After careful consideration, I am establishing professional boundaries regarding healing hands. The clinic remains closed to family employment or management input. All treatment services will be billed at standard rates. Business discussions are limited to my management team. I remain open to rebuilding our personal relationship separate from my professional life. The whoosh of the sent message feels like a shot fired. The aftershocks are immediate. Dad's furious voicemail. You've humiliated us. We'll see you with attorneys if you think you can cut us out. Mom's tearful one. I never thought my daughter would treat me like a stranger. I don't even know you anymore. Autumn's brittle and sharp. You'll regret this when you realize you've burned the only bridge that mattered. I play them once, then delete them all. When I look up, Ellie is standing in the doorway with 2 mugs of coffee. She sees my face, doesn't ask questions, just sets one mug down and squeezes my shoulder. Outside my office window, Denver blows against the night. My reflection stares back at me. Tired, unyielding, finally visible. The storm has broken. The real fight begins now.
The cafe smells like roasted beans and baked bread. I chose it carefully. Neutral ground, no crystal glasses or family table where I'm expected to play the obedient daughter. I arrived 20 minutes early, leather portfolio resting on the table in front of me. Every document is inside. Every receipt, every scar, cataloged and organized. The bell above the door chimes when they enter. All 3, coordinated in cream and beige like a united front. Dad leads, shoulders squared under his golf polo, Mom fiddling with her pearl necklace, Autumn striding just a step behind, perfume sharp enough to cut through the coffee aroma. Sierra, honey. Mom bends, reaching to hug me, but I remain seated. She ends up patting my shoulder awkwardly, her smile freezing. This is cozy, Dad says as they sit. We'd have preferred dinner at home. Family matters should be private. This isn't just a family matter, I reply, tapping the portfolio. This concerns my business. Autumn plops along beside him, tablet already in her hands. We brought muffins. She slides a paper bag across the table. I don't touch it. The waitress takes their orders, disappears. Dad leans forward, clasping his hands like he's chairing a board meeting. Blood is thicker than water, Sierra. Family stands together, especially in business. Mom's hand covers my wrist, her skin cool and dry. We've always been proud of you, sweetie. Always. We tell everyone about our brilliant daughter, the doctor. Physical therapist, I correct. Doctor of physical therapy, Autumn adds smoothly, then launches into her pitch, voice rehearsed. I realize I came on too strong before, so here is a new proposal, a consulting arrangement. 3 days a week, social media, corporate outreach. No management title, just partnership. She swivels her tablet toward me, graphs and slides glowing. I sip my coffee. Bitter warmth steadies me. Before we discuss proposals, there's something you should know. Their eyes snap at me. I take my time opening the portfolio, sliding out neatly stacked papers. At the Hendersons' anniversary party, they congratulated me on my family partnership, asked when you all joined the clinic. Imagine their surprise when I told them you hadn't. Dad's face flushes red. We never said. I have screenshots, I cut in, sliding printouts across the table. Mom's Facebook posts. Family business, built on love. Texts from the Wilsons asking about the partnership Mom mentioned at Bridge Club. This isn't pride, it's fraud. Mom's face pales, her lips trembling. Sierra, it was just expressions of pride. Is it?
I slide another page across the table. Dr. Reynolds' email, asking why Dad approached him about partnership opportunities in my clinic. The cafe buzz fades. The hiss of the espresso machine punctuates the silence. Dad shifts in his chair, caught. "You've been watching us," Autumn accuses, voice sharp, almost trembling. "I've been paying attention," I reply. "The same way I paid attention when you handed out discounts to your sorority sisters, when you rescheduled patients without telling them, when you nearly triggered an insurance audit." Dad slams his palm lightly on the table. "We're getting sidetracked. We're here to discuss Autumn's role. Autumn will have no role in my clinic," I say, calm, certain. "Neither will you. Neither will Mom." Mom gasps, hand to her throat. "After everything we've done for you, everything you've done?" I pull another document, a spreadsheet. "Here is an itemized list of free treatments I've provided this family, $42,735 worth. Dad's shoulder, Mom's feet, Autumn's massages. Here's the $16,550 in loans I gave Autumn when I could barely pay my own rent. Still unpaid." Autumn's face twists. "You said those were gifts." "I said we'd figure it out later." I meet her eyes. "It's later." Dad's mask slips, his voice sharp, desperate. "You can't possibly expect repayment after all you've what?" My voice cuts through his. "After you missed my doctoral hooding ceremony for Autumn's fundraiser? After you told Dr. Reynolds I was just playing at business until I found a husband? After you dismissed my clinic opening as just another job?" I place both hands flat on the table, study. "These are my terms. 1. My business decisions are mine alone. No input, no suggestions, no contacts with my colleagues. 2. Treatments for family billed at standard rates. 3. No more describing yourselves as partners or owners." Mom's tears brim, genuine this time, not stage props. "You can't mean this," she whispers. "We're family. Family respects boundaries. Family celebrates achievements instead of stealing them." Dad leans back, face dark. "This is absurd. We never thought you'd actually succeed on your own. We were trying to secure your future." The truth slips out before he realizes it. My throat tightens. "After everything, all the nights alone, all the debt, they never believed I could succeed?" Autumn hisses, mask cracking. "It's not fair. You get everything. Respect, title, business. What about me? I'm stuck in a cubicle while you play hero in your precious clinic." There it is. The rot beneath the surface. Envy, not love. Resentment, not pride. I close the portfolio with a sharp snap, stand up. Behind me, Mom's quiet sobs, Dad's furious whisper, Autumn's hiss like a cornered snake. But I don't look back. For the first time in my life, I walk away without checking if they approve. The door slings shut behind me. The sunlight outside is blinding, liberating. My shoulders feel lighter than they ever have. The glass wall of my new office frames Denver's skyline, late afternoon sunlight dripping gold over the jagged rooftops. From here, I can see my reflection superimposed on the city. My desk, my diploma, the faint lines of exhaustion carved into my face. But beyond the glass, I watch Meredith guiding a stroke patient through careful, trembling steps. That's the reflection I prefer. Not my own, but my team's, multiplying what I started alone. The clinic hums, alive. 15 treatment rooms now, up from 3. A waiting list stretching 2 months. The phone never stops ringing, but this time the chaos is productive, sustainable, controlled. "Dr. Bennett," Melissa appears at my doorway, clipboard in hand. "Mrs. Abernathy's here for her final session." I smile. Perfect. Let's make it memorable. Mrs. Abernathy is 81, all sharp wit and bright eyes, her back curved from decades of hard labor. She beams when she sees me. "There she is," she says loudly enough for the whole room to hear. "The miracle worker herself." I laugh. "The miracle was your dedication, Mrs. Abernathy." "Nonsense." She waves a frail hand. My grandson says you're the best in Denver, and that boy fact-checks everything. We work through her stretches slowly, deliberately. Her movements are stiff but proud. When she manages a step without the walker, her eyes shine. In that moment, the weight of family battles dissolves, replaced by something purer, healing. Later that week, I gather 3 new graduates around the conference table. Fresh faces, notebooks open, eyes eager. The most important thing I can teach you isn't technique. It's knowing your value. In this profession, you'll give constantly. Make sure what you're giving is respected. They scribble, nodding, hanging on each word. I see flashes of myself in them, hungry, overworked, desperate to prove. I want them to build on steadier ground than I did. Our pro bono program expands quietly. No press releases, just action. 15% of our caseload now serves uninsured and underserved patients. Numbers that once would have terrified me now feel like purpose. When I propose a scholarship fund for physical therapy students with financial need, Mom's voice echoes in my head. Wasteful charity. But Ellie grins when I tell her, that's exactly why it matters. Friday staff meeting. Carlos raises his mug. To Sierra, who saw possibilities when everyone else saw limits. To Sierra, they echo. Plastic cups and grocery store cupcakes. No crystal glasses, no lilies, just genuine celebration. The family doesn't vanish. They linger like shadows. Mom's calls shift tone. Guilt one day, false business interests the next. Have you considered discounts for senior communities? Dad tries to bypass me, reaching out to vendors and accountants. Each attempt bounces off CHP's firewall, each manipulation documented and filed. Autumn's move is bolder. She shows up during peak hours, folder of marketing strategies in hand, perfume heavy enough to choke the waiting room. Mark handles it perfectly. Offers her a chair, calls me, escorts her out when I don't appear. That night, her text lands like a dart. You've become heartless, cold. I miss my sister. I stare at it for a long time before deleting it. Missing me was never the point. Reclaiming me was. But cracks appear in their campaign. Patients start questioning. A longtime family friend, Kimberly, sits from the waiting room one morning, phone angled suspiciously at our staff huddle. She hears me credit our success to the team. She sees the staff laugh and nod, voices equal, no hierarchy but respect. Later, I find her name in the appointment book. No discount, no special treatment, insurance card in hand, same as everyone else. The Hendersons stop by after Mrs. Abernathy's session. We're proud of what you've built, Sierra, Mr. Henderson says, shaking my hand. Your parents tell stories, but we can see with our own eyes who did the work. Their words lodge deep, counterweights to years of disbelief. The community begins to notice. At the grocery store, a neighbor stops me. Your mom posted that healing hands is a family legacy, but Dr. Reynolds told us you built it yourself. Which is it? Which is it? The question they never thought anyone would ask. One evening, I opened my personal email. 2 messages. The first, Mom, photos from her volunteer work at the community garden. No requests for money, no hints at partnership, just flowers and dirt under her fingernails. A small step, but genuine. The second, Autumn. A job announcement, her first corporate office role, unrelated to me. The email is brief, formal, almost subdued. No exclamation points, no manipulative undertones. For the first time, she's not using me as her safety net. I lean back in my chair, staring at the Denver skyline. For once, the silence inside me isn't loneliness. It's peace. That night at Leah's dinner party, laughter fills the room. My chosen family. Colleagues, friends, women who know what it means to fight for visibility. Plates pass, hand to hand. Conversations weave into warmth. To Sierra, Melissa toasts, raising her glass, who taught us that standing your ground isn't selfish, it's necessary. Glasses clink, applause ripples. My chest fills with something I never got at my parents' table. Celebration without conditions. Later, Leah joins me on the porch, mountains silhouetted against the dusk. "You look peaceful," she says. "I am." I breathe deep. I finally understand. I can heal people without sacrificing myself in the process. Inside, my friends laugh. Outside, the mountains stand immovable. And for the first time, I know I do too. The morning air at Cornerstone Cafe smells of espresso and buttered croissants. I sit alone at a corner table, portfolio open, documents stacked in precise rows. Every word, every receipt, every scar I ever swallowed down is here. My hands rest flat on the folder, steady. I've carried this weight for years. Today, it feels light. Through the window, I see them approach. Dad's shoulders squared like a general, Mom fussing with her pearls, Autumn trailing, tablet clutched to her chest. They've dressed in coordinated beige again, like a united front for a battle they still think they can win. The bell chimes when they enter. They spot me instantly. Dad's jaw tightens. Mom plasters on her practiced smile. Autumn's gaze drops to the portfolio, her expression faltering. "Sierra, honey." Mom leans in for a hug. I stay seated. She pats my shoulder instead. Awkward. Dad lowers himself across from me. "Family matters should be discussed privately, not in cafes." "This isn't just family, this is business," I say. The waitress takes their order. Muffins, tea. As soon as she leaves, Autumn powers on her tablet. I've adjusted my proposal, consulting instead of management. 3 days a week, social media, corporate clients. We'd only need 20%. It's a win-win. I sip my coffee, let the silence stretch. Then, before we talk proposals, we need to clear the air. I slide out a neat stack of screenshots. Mom's Facebook posts. Family business. Built on love. Dad's texts to colleagues. Their public lies masquerading as pride. Your friends believed you. The Hendersons congratulated me on our family partnership. Imagine their surprise when I told them you weren't partners at all. Mom pales, fingers trembling. It was just pride. A mother's pride. Pride doesn't involve soliciting my referral sources. I slide another page forward. Dr. Reynolds' email, asking why Dad approached him about joining my clinic. Dad exhales hard, nostrils flaring. "You've been spying on us?" "I've been paying attention," I answer. Autumn slams her tablet shut. "You've always been dramatic, Sierra. You think you did this alone, but we supported you every step." Supported me? My voice cracks like a whip. When Dad took pictures of you in my cap and gown? When Mom told Dr. Wilson I was just the medical person at my own clinic opening? When you nearly tanked my business with your so-called help? I open the final spreadsheet. Cold numbers, black ink. Here's the tally. $42,735 in free treatments. $16,550 in loans never repaid, all while I ate ramen and slept on clinic tables to keep the lights on. Autumn's cheeks blaze. "You said those were gifts." I said we'd figure it out later. I meet her eyes. It's later. Mom's tears spill, genuine this time. "You can't mean this, Sierra. We're family." I push the portfolio closed with a snap. Family respects boundaries. Family celebrates instead of stealing. You've done neither. Dad's mask slips. Bitterness exposed. "We never thought you'd succeed alone. We were trying to secure your future." There it is. The truth they never meant to say out loud. Autumn blurts, "It's not fair! You get everything! Respect, a title, the business. What about me? I'm stuck in a cubicle while you play hero." And suddenly, I see it all with terrifying clarity. Their schemes, their ambushes, the endless guilt, all born from envy. My visibility cost them their illusion of superiority. I stand. The chair scrapes back, sharp against the floor. I built this alone. I supported this family when you wouldn't, and I'm done being invisible. I lay exact change for my coffee on the table, turn, walk out. 1 year later. The expanded clinic bustles. Patients in every room, therapists guiding them with skill and compassion. My office is modest, my desk secondhand, but the treatment floor gleams with state-of-the-art equipment. Every dollar goes where it matters. Melissa steps in, smiling. "Your 3 o'clock's ready. Mrs. Abernathy brought cookies for the staff." "Perfect," I say, rising. In the waiting room are scholarship recipients. 2 wide-eyed PT students wait for their mentorship session. They're nervous, eager, determined. I see myself in them, but steadier, supported, visible. "Remember," I tell them later, "the most important thing isn't technique. It's knowing your worth. Don't let anyone make you small." That night, Leah's dinner hums with laughter. My chosen family, colleagues, friends, survivors, toast each other over mismatched plates and shared dishes. No crystal, no lilies, no staged smiles. Just warmth. "To Sierra," Melissa says, glass raised, "who proved that standing your ground isn't selfish. It's survival." Applause ripples around the table. My chest fills with something I once begged for at my parents' table but never got. Unconditional celebration. Later, Leah joins me on the porch, the mountains dark against the horizon. "You've looked peaceful." I am. The air is cool, the sky vast. For the first time, I don't feel invisible. I feel rooted, seen. Inside, my team laughs. Outside, the mountains stand immovable. And so do I. I whisper to the night, to the mountains, to myself. I'm Sierra Bennett, and I will never be invisible again. End of series.